Pally, I'm Sarah Nash. Today is Tuesday, January 9th, 2018, and InFocus starts right now. What big changes are coming up this semester? Executive producer Noah Matloff explains on today's Campus Zoom. The new semester is welcomed by rainy weather. We'll check in and see how long the rain will last. And also we take a look at the current state of Flex and how it affects one of Pally's most technological buildings. Welcome. I'm Sarah Nash, and as you may have noticed, we are rolling out a brand new look for the show. And Noah Matloff was hard at work last semester and sent us today's daily pick. But anyone can send in a daily pick. Simply tweet it to us at Pally InFocus. Today's pick shows Noah getting super excited about the way the new look came out. Thanks for the hard work, Noah. The new InFocus look isn't the only thing for this semester. Preparations for the new semester are the focus of today's campus bulletin. Freshmen will be getting the semester off to a good start with a mandatory assembly. All 9th grade students are expected to attend the presentation. The assembly takes place in the PAC today during Flex. 6th period teachers are asked to remind freshman students to head to the PAC during Flex for the assembly. Moving on now from what's going on around campus to what's happening in the world today, topping today's headlines. The Trump administration is ending the temporary protected status that covered Salvadorians who fled earthquakes that rattled the nation in 2001. Officials say El Salvador has recovered enough from those earthquakes to remove the protection. TPS protectees have until September of next year to find a legal way to remain in the United States or face deportation. The Department of Homeland Security ended TPS protections for some Haitians and Nicaraguans in November. Weather and climate disasters cost the United States $306 billion last year. 2017 saw hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria pound the United States, followed by wildfires that include the largest California has ever seen. The National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration says it has seen an upward trend in billion-dollar disasters since it began tracking them in 1980. Lastly, the Consumer Electronics Show brings the latest gadgets and gizmos into Las Vegas each year. This year, Lyft is showing off their driverless cars by giving rides to attendees, including CNN's Samuel Burke, who enjoyed this ride in a self-driving Lyft along the Las Vegas Strip. Lyft and their driverless cars or cars as we know them, may not even exist if it weren't for today's selection for Today in History. Ford Motor Car Company was able to make transportation by automobile accessible for the common person and lowering costs through advanced production techniques, including the assembly line. Today in History, in 1924, the Ford Motor Company stock was valued at nearly $1 billion. $1 billion in 1924 equates to nearly $14.5 billion in today's money. Now we go to Paul Thye, who is outside with a report on the rain and how much longer we need to wear those rain boots. Paul?
Thanks, Sarah. It should have been wet the past few days, and unfortunately the rain won't let up today. But there is hope. The rain should pass by tonight, and tomorrow we'll see cloudy skies with a high of 59, but by Sunday we should have sunny skies and a high of 66. But next Monday we'll do it all over again, as rain is predicted to come back. So Sarah, don't put those rain boots away. But that's all for me. Back to you in the studio.
Flex, formerly known as tutorial, is meant to be a time for students to catch up on work, meet with teachers, or engage in stress-reducing activities. But is it working? And how does Flex affect buildings like the Media Arts Center? Maddie Drucker has more.
The Media Arts Center, or MAC as it is better known, is a bastion of technology, a place where publications are made, news is produced, and filmmakers work on their latest release. The MAC is also a popular location for students during Flex. Flex, formerly known as tutorial, is meant to be a time for students to be able to catch up on work, receive further instruction, or engage in stress-reducing activity. However, according to some, this time may not be used efficiently.
You would hope in a situation like this where students are here, they've got something that they're working on. It's tough to tell, because there's so many nooks and crannies in different parts of this building that, aren't always necessarily, being productively advised as much as they could be.
I think Flex is a positive thing when I'm able to use it correctly. Most of the time, I do not use it correctly.
I think sometimes it's difficult to really recognize what's going on that's beneficial versus what's just kind of hanging out and goofing off. So yeah, I do think that that's perhaps an issue.
Others believe Flex may or may not be used efficiently based on the particular student.
I mean, I know a lot of people that leave. I know a lot of people that hang out with me and just we don't do anything. And then I know a lot of people who go and talk to their teachers and get their homework done and all that.
In the MAC, some issues regarding the treatment of technology in the building raise concern, although some of its resident teachers still believe Flex is a positive thing.
You know, I know Flex is maybe not like used as beneficially as it could be all the time by all students, but the concept of it, at least, when a student is here and they're working on something and it's a study hall type session or they're getting help from a teacher, I think absolutely that should count.
New additions to Flex this year include a check-in system and efforts to keep track of students on campus, but the system doesn't always work. As the new bell schedule is being drafted this year, the future of Flex is yet to be determined, but as a whole, most agree that the time is valuable. For InFocus, I'm Maddie Drucker. The Media Arts Center.
To watch this story or any other features from InFocus, head over to our website at infocusnews.tv. McKenna DiGeronimo is in the studio now with the latest in Pally sports news. McKenna, what were the Pally teams up to while we were all on break?
Not a whole lot. However, there were a few games on the 6th, and I have the scores. Last week, the girls' varsity soccer team took down Sacred Heart Prep by a score of 4-0. The Vikings JV boys basketball took the victory against Miramonte last week with a final score of 43-50. But the varsity boys basketball team worked over Miramonte, winning 70-53. The girls' varsity team took a loss from South San Francisco at home by a score of 64-52. Today, the boys' freshman basketball team will face Mountain View at home at 7:30 p.m., while the girls' JV and varsity teams face Santa Clara at home, JV starting at 5:30 and varsity at 7. And in the Pally esports news, over the break, Pally Overwatch played the first round of HSL Winter Preseason, facing TWM and winning 2-0 overall in the best of 3, securing advancement to the next round. That's it from sports, Sarah. Back to you.
McKenna, are you going to keep us up to date on esports?
Only if you keep emailing me the scores.
McKenna. InFocus is starting the semester strong with a brand new format and look. Executive producer Noah Matloff worked tirelessly last semester to plan and put everything together. On today's Campus Zoom, Noah sits down with Abby Black to discuss some of the changes and why they were made.
Thanks, Sarah. Noah has been working tirelessly to put together this new look for InFocus. So I hear you made some changes to the show. What are they?
Well, we have a couple new things. We have a new TriCaster update, which is basically going to allow us to have a clear picture, do a couple new formatting techniques that we weren't able to do in the past in terms of different layers being on top of each other, something that the old version couldn't handle. We're also going to be updating the look of the show, just change it around, get a little better Pally type community vibe going with the backgrounds and all that. And the structure of the show is going to change significantly as well.
And why did you decide to make these changes?
Well, we've been using the formatting for a 5-minute show, the same one from second semester of last year. And now with a 10-minute show, there's a lot of just formatting that doesn't fit in a 5-minute show. So we need 10 minutes. We want to fill our 10 minutes every day, and we can't do that if we're using the format of a 5-minute show. So we're just kind of changing up how things are going to work. We're going to add a couple new bumps, couple new segments, and hopefully we should be able to make it a little bit longer every day.
And what do you hope will come from these changes?
Well, I really just love InFocus. I've loved being on the team for a couple years now, and I just want to make sure that InFocus can stay being one of Pally's main sources of news every day. I love all the other magazines, but InFocus is just one thing that it's on every day, and we have that power to access the entire student body, so I want to make sure we're using that to its full extent.
Awesome, thank you. Back to you.
Well, that does it for today's episode. Be sure to visit our website to check out old episodes, check the bulletin, or to send us an email. Until next time, have a great day, Pally.
Counting bands, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.